Oh, good morning. So we got Psalms today. So let's go into Psalms. We've got to find it in this tome. Psalms. Where are you, Psalmies? Let's have a look. Oops. I'm going to tuck this in because it's doing what it's not meant to do. It's doing what it does. Psalms. Here we go. Psalms 82. These pages are so thin. To skip lots of chapters, it's a very thin amount. Oops. 69. And so it's sometimes easier just to go one page at a time like this, because they're so fine you could skip over where you want. But they're somehow a little bit strong. It's just annoying when you break them, because they tear and then it's sort of stuffed after that, because to put tape in between these pages causes them damage a little bit, so you end up having to get a new one or something like that. So don't rip your scriptures. And yes, I've torn up a Bible before. I've torn up a scripture before, a long time ago, because people were using Zionism against me, and I was totally furious about it. They were so judgmental in the wrong direction that it couldn't work, and I felt they didn't believe in the Bible. I was so angry. It was like Moses. Let's rip this thing in half. And I don't feel guilty about that. Okay? They needed to see that. They literally needed to see that. And that guy's now gone with a foreigner. He's completely lost. He's lost to Zionism. So that's okay. That's his problem. I'm not there. I live a much tighter law now than I've ever been before. And I feel much better for it. So if you don't want to live law, that's your problem. And that's how I see it now. I used to try to fit in. And now I've realised to fit in is to take on the wrong garment. And I really prefer to have Technicolor Dreamcoat, thank you very much. I'm quite happy with the gifts God gives me. And those gifts you can't buy. So let's delve in, shall we? 82 verse 6. Let's see. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Is it a comma? Yep, it's a dot. It's a full stop. Alright, so that's a nice statement. Yeah. Look before that. This is interesting. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty, he judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly, and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. Defend the poor and fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Wow, that's really powerful. That's a really nice one. Really, really good, powerful psalm. I don't really know what I can add. It's quite clear. What can I say? I think we'll go to the next one. So let's see. Psalm 127 verse 3. Let's flick ahead to there. Oh, see what I mean? You just get a little bit and it's 143 already. That's why you can't really do it that way. 33. 26? No, 27. And they're very short, so they're really, really sweet. So 127.3, and then we'll read the whole thing. And see, I have marked it. It's not bad to mark bits that you're going to use, as long as you don't ruin what you can see. So, lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. That's very sweet, very, very clear. Something that has been denied me for my life so far, and many of us, and we serve the Lord, the one King, and so that's what you should do. If you don't have the opportunity to be in this position, you need to dedicate yourself to the work of God. And that's how it was always with our people. That's how it should be now. And we haven't been doing that because we are a loathsome people. We are disobedient people. We're becoming a hiss and a byword because we are not doing what we're supposed to do. Children are an heritage from the Lord, a song of degrees for Solomon. Except the Lord build the house, they labour in vain. That build it, except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies at the gate, in the gate. Shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Yeah, it's a really interesting. Gee, it's so hard. There's not much to say on there, is there? He giveth his beloved sleep. So we're supposed to eat and rest and we're not supposed to torture ourselves and each other by excessive living. That sort of talks for itself. And children are the most important thing. Not as they stay babies and be little children. Oh, my children are grown up. Oh, it's so sad. No. You're supposed to take joy when they're older and standing at the gate defending you. It's supposed to be that you are proud of them all the time. Not, oh my gosh, he grew up. Oh, it's so sad. No. It's supposed to be a fulfilled heart, a fulfilled life, a family estate. Everyone works on something together. They all work on different aspects of the same thing, and so so they all do what they do in the family estate. You know, Stephen I said that the Rothschilds' women do not work. So the men run the businesses and do the work, and the women do the social things, the looking after family, the gardening maybe if they want to, or maybe that's work. I don't know. I don't know what their limitation of work is in their constitution. We have our own constitution. It is the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 Imperial. Okay, we have our own family lineage. That is it. If you don't have a family estate, you automatically roll upwards into the Constitution Act if you're a subject of that crown, the Australian Imperial Crown, I'm saying. So this is how it works in estates, okay? Estates, not the states, estates, E-S-T-A-T-E-S, okay? So that's how it works. It has a stipulation of who does what, why and how and everything else, okay? And it doesn't change. It gets only changed by a complete vote. It cannot be changed by a democracy. So it's kind of like how our juries run, by unanimous vote. If we can't get them across the line, it don't get changed. So 44 in our constitution, it gets voted on by a referendum by I think it's a 51% vote, and there's a reason for that. Is more than half on it. So And we haven't had that situation where we voted out our constitution. And to be honest, there's not enough subjects to be voting on that, because you're voting in the wrong domain. So when was the last time we had a real referendum of subjects of the Australian Imperial Crown? Because I don't know if I've seen one. There might have been one early, but of recent days they can't pull that off. So it's very interesting that they keep trying to pull that off in front of us. I worry that the next generation won't know these details and things. I certainly think the next generation, my generation, I don't think they've taught their children, because I don't think they know. And is it lost? All the 78, 80-year-olds seem to have, they're wondering what happened. It's them, they forgot. And probably their parents forgot too, because the one before them is the ones that were in World War One. So they would have known. And their failing is they didn't teach it down correctly. And they put all their children into schools after that, because we got reformed into having schools and all of this. So outsourcing of knowledge instead of telling our children of the estates. Anyway, Psalm 54, verse 13. Wait, 54? Did I write the wrong number down? I think I've written the wrong number down. I wrote 54, verse 13. Okay, I made a mistake. Let's get 63, 8, and let's hope I did that one right. 63, 8. Never mind. 63. Sorry, I just had a brain thing. I don't know, whatever. 63. Let's see. Verse 8. What's verse 8? My soul followeth hard after thee, thy right hand upholdeth me. Oh, this is all about law too. All of it's about law. But this isn't, it's the foundation, it's not everything, but it's good. David thirsts for God, whom he praises with joyful lips. Okay. O God, thou art my God, early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee, my flesh longeth for thee in a dry and thirsty land, where no water is, to see thy power and thy glory, so as I have seen thee in the sanctuary. Because thy loving kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise thee. Thus will I bless thee while I live. I will lift up my hands in thy name. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, and my mouth shall praise thee with joyful lips. When I remember thee upon my bed, and meditate on thee in the night watches, because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice. My soul followeth hard after thee, thy right hand upholdeth me. But those that seek my soul to destroy it shall go into the lower parts of the earth. They shall fall by the sword, they shall be a portion for foxes. But the king shall rejoice in God. Every one that sweareth by him shall glory, but the mouth of them that speak lies shall be stopped. Let's hope that those that spread lies will be stopped. Yeah, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by that. That's quite powerful. I live under the shadow of the wings of the Lord, and it can be quite challenging, but it can't get in to stop you from feeling happy inside, because you know you're doing the right thing all the time. And while it's frustrating on the outside, And Stephen said that in his video. It is frustrating on the outside, but your joy inside is untouchable. Nobody can get in there and take it from you when you know you've got a clean conscience and you're doing what you can. And sometimes you have to walk away, but there's so much food, so much work that needs to be done. It's interesting, but we haven't touched all the parts of the earth yet, so I don't know when we can we even justify stopping. I don't think we can. I think we have to keep ploughing and keep trying and keep doing. So marrow and fatness, that means healthy food. Yeah, so I don't know what to say about that one. It's very self-explanatory. Let's go to Daniel. Daniel 1:4. It's not a really long book. 1:4. So there's 1:4 there. Children in whom was no blemish, but well favoured and skilful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. This is Daniel and his brothers were in the king Nebuchadnezzar, I think, is care. They took them into the care. So the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favoured and skilful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and tongue of the Chaldeans. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat, and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. Now among these were of the children of Judah Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names, for he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and to Azariah of Abednego. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now God had brought Daniel into favour and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink, for why should he see your face as worse liking than the children which are of your sort? Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Okay, so pulse is not oats. Okay, it's much richer. I don't eat pulse, but because it makes me feel sick, and it's not really our food. But for these guys, it was okay, because they didn't have the type of meat that our people needed. Okay, you can't get mixed up and think they were moving towards plant. That's not what happened. So the story is symbolic. Okay. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat, and as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this matter, and proved them 10 days, And at the end of 10 days their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. Thus Belshazzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and gave them pulse. Now we don't know what they meant in terms of pulse in here, but as for the 4 children, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Yeah, interesting. Let's look up pulse. I wonder if it's in here. Gave them pulse. Ugh, I don't know. Hang on, I said what I've been saying, but I didn't really think about it before saying it, which really isn't very wise. So let's look it up. It'll be in the King's Dictionary here. I'm going to finish after this one, so I'll have to do Malachi next time. Let's quickly find this pulse. So I really wanted to keep the topic together, but it's going to end up... Oh, come on, dude. These pages are way thicker than the other ones. RSTU. Let's see. Pulse. LMN. Gone past it. Pulse. Pulse. Here it is. Page 677. Pulse. Okay, so the beating or throbbing of the heart or blood vessels of the arteries, any measured or regular beat, oscillation, vibration, to beat as the heart. Pottage, leguminous plants or their seeds as beans, peas, etc. To feel one's pulse, to ascertain the force of the blood in the arteries, to sound one's opinions. So they were keeping their blood clean through eating leguminous plants or their seeds as beans, peas, etc. Okay, so they did that instead of eating the kind of meat that the king was feeding for them, and instead of having the alcohol. Okay, they didn't want the fructose either. Okay, it's really, really clear. We should be more knowledgeable now than we've ever been before, and yet we seem so dumb and stupid and brainless. So that's what I'm going to finish on. So there are hints throughout your foundations of who you are, how you're meant to live, how you're meant to everything. Everything is covered, like from the top to the bottom. I don't know how people can miss it. It's all covered. Everything is covered. So yeah, I leave you this in his holy name. Amen.